New state polls have been released for the Trump versus Harris matchup. It has been a month since Harris replaced Joe Biden as the Democrat candidate, and today we're going to be looking at some state polling from the Battleground states. Hit the like button and subscribe for more content just like this. And make sure to go ahead and go to the description down below and follow me on X, as well as joining the Discord server. And make sure to go to the description and go to the GoFundMe to sponsor more national and state polling. We are working through a national poll which has completed responses as of the time of this video, but we have yet to release the results. And we were able to raise about $4,000 the other day on live stream with Ready Go Politics for SoCal Strategies to conduct honest and national, polling data, as well as state polls. If you want more honest and transparent polling data that the mainstream media won't give you, make sure to go ahead and donate to us here. Any support would be greatly appreciated. Looking at these new state polls, we are first going to fill out the states that I believe won't really matter or decide the election at the end of the day. Those include Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, Montana, both Dakotas, Nebraska's first, the at-large vote, and Nebraska's 3rd congressional district. There also hasn't been any polling out of the 2nd congressional district, so we are going to automatically apply the 2020 result, which was a 6.6 percentage point win for Joe Biden in the last cycle. Kansas, Oklahoma, Alaska, Texas is no longer in the competitive column for me, as well as Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, as well as Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, South Carolina, and Florida, as well as Maine's 2nd congressional district, Now, looking at the safe Democrat states, those include California, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, Illinois, Massachusetts, Maryland, D.C., Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, Connecticut, Vermont, New York, as well as Maine's 1st congressional district, including Hawaii, which puts Harris at 192 safe electoral college votes to Trump's 219 safe electoral college votes. These do not reflect any polling margin, but are just reflective of the status of the state, which I believe cannot go to the opposite candidate as of right now. Looking at the state of Nevada from 538, the latest poll from the state actually still has Donald Trump up. The latest poll is from the New York Times / Siena College, with about 700 likely registered voters from August 12th to the 15th. Shows Trump up by 3 points with registered voters in the likely voter screens with third parties. Trump is up by 2 points. That's going to put the state in the lean Republican column, which will be really good for the former president, because that would actually be a pickup from the previous cycle. He did not win the state last time, so that would definitely be pretty interesting to look at as of right now. The state of Arizona, if we look at the latest polling data from the state, Harris is actually up by 4 percentage points in a likely voter screen with a couple of candidates, so this is going to be going in the lean Democrat column. As of right now, the state of New Mexico does have a poll with Trump versus Harris. The latest poll, that being a 7-point win from July 31st to August 3rd, with about 500 likely registered voters, sponsored by the Telegraph and Redfield and Wilton Strategies. Harris is up by 7 in the state, putting that in the likely Democrat column. Looking at Georgia, we have a new poll out of the state of Georgia as of right now, which has Trump up by about 3 points with likely voters. We can see here with third-party candidates included as well, Trump is up by 3 points. So that is going to be in the lean Republican column for this video. And looking at the state of North Carolina, we are actually going to see that Harris is up by 2 points with likely voters from August 9th to the 14th. We see Harris is up by 2 points in the state. That's going to be putting the state in the lean Democrat column. Looking at the state of Virginia, the latest poll from that state actually has Trump up by 4 points. It's around a 300 likely voter screen from July 14th to the 15th, so relatively old. I'm curious to see if we get new data out of there, but Trump is up by 4 points with likely voters, so that's going to put the state in the lean Republican column. Looking at the state of Minnesota, we will see the latest poll does have Harris up by 5 points in Redfield and Wilton Strategies, with about 538 likely voters, and that's going to put the state in the likely Democrat column. looking at the state of Wisconsin, we can go to the state and actually see Harris in the new Qantas polls and news. It's actually up by a single percentage point. That puts the state in the lean Democrat column. Looking at the state of Michigan, we will actually see that it is about even. And looking at the likely voter screen here with third parties, we actually see that for Lee and Associates has Trump up by 2, and this actually puts Trump at a tie in the Electoral College at 269 Electoral College votes for this video. And looking at the state of Pennsylvania, we will see that the former president is actually up in the latest Synagogue poll with third-party voters. So that is fairly interesting. That puts the state in the lean Republican column as well. And looking at the state of New Hampshire, we are going to see a pretty decent lead for Kamala Harris of about 6 points, basically 1,000 registered voters from Emerson College. It was conducted pretty far back now. And looking at Maine, we will clearly see, that Donald Trump is up in Nebraska's, or at least Maine's 2nd congressional district by 4 in the latest poll, but he's definitely going to be up by way more than that. The statewide vote is about Harris plus 8, so that puts that in the likely Democrat column. So when you look at the latest polls in the battleground states, you see Trump is at 288 to Harris's 250 Electoral College votes. Even Virginia would have still had the race going to Trump right now. So that is fairly interesting. We definitely do need more data out of the state of Virginia, as the polls basically haven't been conducted there in about a month or so. And Michigan and Pennsylvania clearly showing Trump up in the lead. Georgia, the latest poll has Trump up. Arizona is a pretty big lead for Harris. I don't really expect it to be a 4-point lead. It is possible for her to win Arizona, but I can't see her winning it by 4. And while Georgia's 3-point victory at the same time, Georgia voting to the right of Arizona by 7 points, in my opinion, is very unlikely as of right now. Also, North Carolina voting to the left of Georgia doesn't really make sense because Georgia has been trending to the left faster than North Carolina has, so that wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense, to be honest. And the Rust Belt voting to the left of the nation doesn't really make a whole lot of sense either. And so I do expect the state polls to be pretty abysmal this cycle. I think the state polling is going to be very, very, very bad. I think national polls are going to be a lot better to look at because you'll be able to have a better picture of what's to come. And with our new poll that we're actually doing with SoCal Research, we've been seeing what other pollsters are seeing. There's a huge oversampling of Democrats to the point where the sample's like D plus 10 to D plus 15 when you add up all the responses. And African Americans and white suburban liberals, especially women, are being very oversampled to the point where, I think African Americans are 23% of the electorate in our polling, and they have not even been above 13-12% of the electorate the past few cycles. So that's obviously not going to happen, and African American turnout may be even lower than what it was before. So that's definitely going to be a pretty interesting thing to look at. But that's essentially it, guys. Donald Trump at 288 to Harris's 250. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe if you want more content just like this. And I will see you guys in the next video.